The reality is that is not nearly enough time to get a lawyer to understand what you have to file, where you have to go, et cetera, et cetera. So they were just trying to find a loophole. Oh, yeah, we'll give him a process. And then they give him like the hardest process possible to navigate because they want to get him out of here quickly. The Supreme Court sent the case back to the New Orleans-based Fifth U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals for further review, saying in its order that the appeals court erred in dismissing the detainee's appeal. Today's ruling effectively extends the temporary freeze that the justices put on Alien Enemies Act removals from the Northern District of Texas back on April 19th, said Steve Vladeck, CNN Supreme Court analyst and professor at Georgetown Law, because lower courts have blocked use of the act in every other district in which the president has sought to invoke it. That means it's effectively pausing all removals under the act until the Fifth Circuit and presumably the Supreme Court itself conclusively resolves whether they're legal and how much process is due if so. So, in other words, you have all these different cases in all these different states that are coming up, and they appear pretty unanimous that they're like, yeah, you can't really do this. And so now they're pausing all of the deportations for the Fifth Circuit Court to rule on it, but then also presumably for the Supreme Court to rule on the merits of the case. So this is kind of a big deal. Now, at the same time, we keep fearing the same thing. Well, what if he just blows them off again? What if he's just like, yeah, I disagree, and he keeps going? That's effectively what he did with Kilmar Brego Garcia. He did not try to facilitate his return in any way, shape, or form, right? And so there's been a number of court cases that they just basically swat aside. They're disobeying court orders. And the question is, how do you deal with that, right? I floated the idea of maybe fining and freezing the bank accounts of the DHS foot soldiers who are doing these illegal deportations, which are really just kidnappings and human traffickings. That's what I floated. I think that's probably the best way to try to force their hand here. But as we all know, there's really no court enforcement mechanism. There are no judicial police who can see their orders through. The U.S. Marshals can, but the U.S. Marshals are under the executive branch, and who runs the executive branch? So that's why we've been in a continued constitutional crisis for an extended amount of time now. But the court, absolutely, they are saying the things they should be saying. They are coming to the proper decisions that they should be coming to. Because the flimsy legal rationale was abysmally stupid and offensively wrong. I mean, this law has only been invoked during actual wartime. And what Trump did is he invoked it as if we're at war with Venezuela. We're not. As if we're at war with Tren de Aragua. We're not. And then furthermore, the people who they claim are Tren de Aragua are not even Tren de Aragua. It falls apart on the facts of it as well. Never mind just the theory and the concept of what they think they're doing. So, the Supreme Court basically weighing in here, and I do think that it'll be a massive uphill climb if these decisions are going to go in Trump's direction. If they do at all go in Trump's direction, it's literally only because the court knows he's not going to abide by the ruling and they want to keep their legitimacy for a post-Trump era. That would be the only reason they would ever rule with him on these sorts of things. But, so here we have the courts basically doing the right thing, and look at his reaction. So he re-truthed this on Truth Social. The Supreme Court still has an illegal injunction on the President of the United States, preventing him from commanding military operations to expel these foreign terrorists. Notice the language. These aren't foreign terrorists. You just completely and utterly made that up. And these aren't military operations. The president should house these terrorists near the Chevy Chase Country Club with daytime release. In other words, that's like an implied threat to the Supreme Court justices who are probably go to that country club or live near that country club or whatever the hell. They're saying, hey, maybe you should be attacked by immigrant thugs because of how you ruled in this case. He reposted this. I think we're just getting warmed up, y'all. I think we're just getting started. We know how this man acts. We know that, and this is where the court fucked up originally, is they felt like, hey, if we give him an inch, he'll be happy with that inch, and then he'll be more likely to listen to us when we draw lines. Wrong. You got it exactly backwards. You gave him an inch, and he wants to take a mile. And now John Roberts looks stupid, because John Roberts said, hey, whatever the president does, as long as he views it as an official act, that cannot be criminal. That's what John Roberts did, effectively giving this guy total immunity. Because obviously, whatever he does, he's always going to turn around and say, oh, no, I just did that because it was an official act. I wasn't doing it for me. Even like the fucking $400 million Qatari plane that he wants to take, even though that's clearly for him, he'll just lie and say, no, this was an official act as president that I wanted to do it. And so you gave him a massive loophole where he doesn't have to abide by the law. And now it's coming back to bite you in the ass. And so they never should have ruled that way in that case. It was such a bad ruling. When I read the initial thing, I didn't even truly fully grasp how horrible a decision it was, because I thought there's no way that this is what they're actually saying. Well, it is. It is. Anything he thinks is official, he can get away with. So obviously Trump is he could keep doing what he wants and then say, well, I'm just doing what I think is official. So can't be criminal, right? Can't be criminal. You're not going to impeach me because you need to get a lot of Republicans to cross over, and they're total bitches who are going to bend the knee to me forever. So here he is, threatening Supreme Court justices because they're doing their job. And all I'll say is this: all these courts, they need to keep being as clear as can be, as direct as they can be, and don't let him intimidate you. I know we've probably had, judges all over this country be threatened because of the mob that he riles up. But as I said, when you give him an inch, he takes a mile. Don't give him an inch. Don't give him a centimeter. Don't give him a millimeter. Don't give him a fraction of a millimeter. If anything, the exact opposite. Slap him down in every imaginable way. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop. And watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.